Welcome to the In Season podcast, rated R for language.
None of us are doctors or neurologists. Things you're about to hear are opinions of people living with epilepsy or seizures. These are firsthand experiences. Epilepsy can cause speech problems, and medications are hard to pronounce, so please bear with me. Epilepsy can cause bad memory, so some stories will be repeated. I'm Pookie. Get ready.
Anybody on clobazam?
I was.
Maybe you can relate to this. It says, are there 20 milligram clobazam tablets unusual? My doctor increased me to a dosage of 20 milligrams a couple weeks ago. So I've been using up the 10 milligram tabs I have. Last week, when I saw that I would be out of this by the end of this week, I called Kroger and asked them if they could fill the prescription she had sent me, 20 milligram tabs. The pharmacist said they had to order and check them out with Saturday. Oh damn. She's not gonna have pills. Well, time got away from me, and when I called today, since the app has been showing awaiting restock, the person I spoke with, not the pharmacy manager, looked into it and said their small supplier doesn't get 20 milligram tabs. So it seems the only customer there has been prescribed the 20 milligram tabs. And now I'm wondering if those are maybe not prescribed as much as the 10 milligram tabs. Surely I'm not the one here taking 20 milligrams. How can you take yours, 2 10s or 120?
I had a similar issue with my pregabalin. I don't know if you want to discuss that, but I was trying to get onto 300 milligrams of pregabalin daily, and the controlled release was something that the pharmacy could not order. They were in the middle of switching between two different suppliers, and neither supplier would order it for them. They wouldn't even try to get it, the controlled release. So it's definitely not as uncommon as they might think to be in a situation where the pharmacy is not providing the medication. It might not necessarily be that they don't have any other patients that are on a dosage that high. They might just not want to go through the effort of getting something that's a bit more unusual. So my doctor switched me to taking the pregabalin 3 times a day instead of the pharmacy actually going through the effort of ordering the 300 milligram controlled release. So that's, it's my problem. So, adventures.
With clobazam too, that was one where I only had to miss 1 or 2 doses. I had to miss less dose before I actually had a bad one.
Anyone ever have a normal EEG but still have seizures or develop them in adulthood? It is, oh my. I'm gonna not go through the long ones right now.
Was that the full question?
No,
Or
sorry.
huh?
That's just me saying. Is having epilepsy considered as good health? I want to ask if being epileptic is considered good health. I don't want to be, if anyone because I'm trying to apply for a fully funded scholarship overseas, and I just want to ask the eligibility requires good health, and I'm epileptic, and I don't know if I cannot apply for the scholarship. Does epileptic mean good health? I'm not sure.
What country? I mean, it depends on how that particular country defines good health. That I don't know. Probably not. Just if it's for the purposes of a scholarship and it's for international students and they want international students who are in good health. I think that epilepsy would probably be a disqualifying condition, and foreign universities and scholarship entities do not necessarily need to abide by American, disability laws. The ADA does not apply to if it's a Chinese university. They don't care about American discrimination laws. So I would be surprised if they qualify, but I hope they can.
Think of it as if your doctor would write a note. Would your doctor write a note saying that you're well controlled or healthy in that sense?
Yeah, I mean, if they've got it really well controlled, then it's not likely that they're going to have any breakthroughs, and they might be able to get the doctor to say something to that effect, that aside from, or that they're in good health now that it's controlled, or I don't know.
The same thing you're asking, Mark, is what somebody else asked, and the person responded, I just wanted to ask if being epileptic, but my seizures are under control, which means I rarely have seizures and on medication. Is being epileptic still considered good health? Or no, because that's the only health condition I have. I have good mental health and good physical health. And they're both, good mental health and physical health are perfectly okay. So I guess the seizures are under control. Yeah. Just the label of epilepsy, they can be like, no, you think so? They would think eventually they'd have to worry about taking care of you.
I'm wondering if possibly she said, yes, I have epilepsy, then they'd find a different reason to actually say no. Because that's happened for jobs for me lots of times where they give me a completely different reason, but we all know it's because I said I had seizures.
If you say no and then they find out after the fact that you knew that you did have seizures going into it and something happened, God forbid, then they might go after you for like reimbursement for whatever tuition that you've availed yourself to that point. It's complicated. Knowledge should be easy to get. Why is it locked behind all of these stupid doors?
Someone in the comments says, I guess as long as you have controlled your seizures and don't experience side effects to your meds, then you're good. I wouldn't consider myself in good health because of how my brain fogged. Someone else said, is it just a checkbox? Yes or no? With no additional information? No required health form? That sounds way too subjective. Does scholarship mean something different? Like, is it funding for your regular studies, something you can do without the scholarship, or a specific program? I can't see a scholarship being allowed to discriminate on having epilepsy if it doesn't affect your ability to complete the task. Probably depends on where overseas it is. Will you be able to get your medication overseas? Is the question. You say it's under control, but if you're applying to some charity program in a developing nation with limited health care, then they could accommodate your needs. They can't accommodate your needs.
What was the icebreaker again? Sia joined.
Yeah, Sia, what's going on?
Hello.
First time I seen your hair down.
Oh yeah, I just took a shower because apparently I threw up in my hair after a seizure, so
Sounds like fun.
yeah, it was.
The icebreaker today was
That was totally intended as a compliment, by the way.
Kate knows the icebreaker. It is
What's the
What do you
what's
like?
the
Yeah, there you go.
best or most productive thing you've found about like the group chat or the stream?
I would say like when yeah, I would say probably when we're asking, these questions and answering them and realizing what other people's experiences are, we learn a lot. There's a lot of things that I did not know about beforehand that I've learned being on here and just listening to people's stories and their own experiences based on the questions that we ask. So I'd say that.
I think that's kind of the general consensus. Like everyone is sort of on the same wavelength when it comes to that. It's like knowing that you're not alone, that there are people who share the same experiences and, are there to help as much as we possibly can. We can only do so much, but we're always there for each other.
That's exactly right. And like reminds me of when I first joined on here, crying with everybody because I had been through a bad month and everybody knew what it was like. It was very healing.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess
exactly. See, I feel the same. I've only been on here like few weeks now, and I already feel like I get more kind of, I don't know, understanding and respect from you guys out of explaining situations than, friends I've known for like, 5 years or so that know my situation. I tell them about it and they're like, "Oh, sorry that happened again, buddy. Okay, anyway, you want to go grab a coffee?" And then and then here with you guys, we can spend like 8 hours a day on a live stream talking about all of our issues and everything. So it's yeah, very very comforting to be part of this and have you guys around. I appreciate it always.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
It's in group wrong.
yeah. So I got something here. It says advice. So I'm just writing this as I need advice. So moving to Devon, I finally saw a neurologist for my epilepsy. I saw a male doctor who said to me that if he changes me from Epilum onto something else, that he would take my license off me for 3 months. I personally have never had to do that when trying new medication. Is this a thing? He didn't have any. He didn't have any of my hospital or doctor notes for me, even though I waited 10 months to finally see him. And he also told me that I have to do pregnancy tests in my appointments. Is this true? He made me feel so uncomfortable as he did for the last 5 to 10 minutes. Is stare at me without saying a word. I didn't even know the appointment had finished. So I left. Now my partner has said he will go with me to the next appointment. Do I change someone to someone else, or do I go with my partner to the next one to see if he acts the same? Any advice would be helpful.
Is this a neurologist or an OB?
Uh, I remember just as much as you remember. I
Yeah,
read it all.
we need more context on this one.
Oh, it does say I finally saw a neurologist for my epilepsy.
Okay, so they
Saw
weren't
a
seeing
male
a
doctor.
neurologist originally. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So a neurologist, I wouldn't understand why they would want you to do pregnancy tests every appointment. Like
Yeah.
for an OB, that makes sense. But for a neurologist, that makes absolutely zero sense.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is because of um lots of epileptic medications can cause birth defects. So that's the only thing I can think of.
I mean, yeah, but even then, like,
It sounds weird.
yeah, if you ask your patient, are you going to be trying for pregnancy anytime soon, or are you actively trying with a partner? Then maybe I could understand that. But if they aren't asking that question and just saying straight up off the bat, you have to do a pregnancy test every time you come in here, then that's when it gets weird, I feel.
That's what weirded me out, I guess, too, is mainly the whole like they didn't even say that they were trying to have a kid. Why are they being pregnancy tested? That's
And
weird.
what reason would the doctor have to disbelieve just her word?
Yeah, it's like just at that. I mean, I don't know. It's a weird thing to distrust. Like, no, I'm lying to you about having a baby. Like, no, I would want you to know this information. You don't have to check me every time.
Well, and from what I heard from it, it sounds like she's uncomfortable with the male doctor, and this guy is giving off uncomfortable vibes without her partner there. So,
That's a good point. Yeah, I
yeah,
that part. Yeah.
I would say, I mean, whenever I'm uncomfortable with any type of doctor, no matter who it is, and this is why I specifically only choose female OBs, is because some male doctors are just like this. I would switch doctors. But before you switch, because you waited 10 months to get to this point, take your partner in with you and see if that kind of fixes things. And if it doesn't, and he's still being a D word, then I would switch. Find a different doctor, because uncomfortableness with a doctor is any type of doctor is not it's not comfortable, and it doesn't make you feel like you're in a safe place.
So by D word, do you mean dick or douchebag?
Both, either one, both work.
Basically, don't you don't
No
you
need
don't
to
be
hide the
afraid to
words. Come on.
don't be afraid to shop for doctors. That was
Exactly,
a really good
yes.
point about keeping the next appointment, at least until you find a new one.
Yeah. Find the person who works best for you personally, because everyone's different, just like every doctor is different, because they're people and everyone's different.
Something I've learned too about doctors is that you can't go based off of their reviews. Some people will absolutely adore the doctor, and some people absolutely will not, because not every single doctor is going to work.
It's like finding a
Plus,
therapist.
yeah, right. Yeah, I'm hoping mine will be joining us next month. Um, I'm looking at Epilum. It's also known as Depakote. Um, Depakote is known for causing birth defects. So I can't be completely mad at the doctor. Um, because if you get pregnant and you're taking Depakote, you almost guarantee yourself either a miscarriage or birth defects. So his concern is appropriate, but maybe his words weren't quite right to make her feel comfortable. Maybe she doesn't understand exactly why. Because we know that these drugs can be dangerous, especially for women who are in their childbearing years. So yeah, I mean, Epilim is that one drug you don't want to take when you're pregnant. So there's that, but like you said, Saya, we have to be comfortable with our doctors or we do not make progress. And it could just be a personality glitch or it can be outright D word. And yeah, I don't do D word doctors anymore. Dr. Do Nothings. Um, yeah, those are in my past. Hopefully. But yeah, I'm more concerned that maybe she doesn't understand the effects of that drug if she were to get pregnant. And that might be why he's checking her because he would take her off that drug immediately. So,
That's a really good point, and that can lead into for all of us, and especially people who are new to this. That is something that I'm sorry for the noise. That is something that needs to be asked for every medication, even if you're not an epileptic. If you are on a medication, ask your doctor about the side effects and what it might do to you in the future, long term, short term, all of that. Because it's important for us to all know what we're putting into our bodies and how we can counteract the effects it might have on us.
100%. Yeah.
Or and ask why they're asking for the test every time. I mean, don't be afraid to ask a doctor why they're making you do something. They should be able to justify it to the patient who's going through the procedures, you know. If he had said, um, concerns about birth defects and something like that and had a good reason, then that's, like you said, completely different. But you should be able to say, justify it with the patient in the room right there.
Yeah. And I think too many of us are afraid to ask questions. Um, but yeah, I mean, usually with a neurologist or even an epileptologist, I don't know how often you guys see your doctor. There's that headache again. But it's usually like every 6 months, 3 months kind of thing. So even if he did catch a pregnancy, it would be too late to terminate, which raises another concern. That's why the doctor would most likely change her medication immediately. So instead of dealing with that, he said, if you're taking this medication, I don't want you getting pregnant. So, and we weren't there in the room, so we don't know how he said that. And apply the emotions, you know what I mean. But yeah, it's kind of a funky question. There's another way to ask it that we don't always like to hear either, especially as women. Are you sexually active? I don't know if you guys get that from your doctors, but we get that all the time.
Oh yeah,
You
do
know,
Every single
question?
time. Yep.
you guys get that
yeah,
question when you go to the doctor?
Oh yeah.
Yep,
No,
yeah.
I get
not
it.
the women, then the men.
But
Do they ask you if you're sexually active?
Yes, they do.
Like on every visit?
no,
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh wow.
Every time
Yeah.
I've gotten that question.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just had a
Before
physical and they didn't ask.
before each ECT treatment, they would have to they would have to do a pregnancy test on each of the females, even if they were in their 80s, to make sure that you weren't pregnant. One
Yeah.
time, a lady came up to me and she was like, "Good news, you're not pregnant." I was like, "Okay, I'm not sexually active." I wasn't worried about it. But thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
What is this
65 and he
sex
still
life you
has.
talk about?
I got something that says, am I wrong for thinking I shouldn't get treated like this? I had a tonic-clonic seizure and I was hospitalized in early 2025. I called for transportation to arrange getting myself to the ER ahead of time for my physical health, knowing I was going to have a serious health effects from prepping for another medical procedure, one being severe dehydration. On the way to the ER, I had severe tonic-clonic seizure. I didn't even realize I made it into the hospital until I was partially restored consciousness hours later, and I was in a hospital bed. Now, apparently, my father decided to call my brother and sister-in-law to have them come visit me while I was inpatient. I wouldn't have wanted this, but my family makes some irrational decisions regarding my health, anyways. My father, being an alcoholic, doesn't help. After I got authorized to leave the hospital, I was still not fully aware and in postictal state. I guess according to my brother, I said, in quote, rude things to my what's it called, sister-in-law. Is that what SIL means, sister-in-law? I
Yes.
think so. Okay. It said I said some rude things to my sister-in-law. No idea what I said. I have no memory of what I could have said. They didn't even tell me what I told them. In any case, I told my brother recently I didn't even realize I'd said anything during the episode until he had said so. He requested I apologize to my sister-in-law. I felt no need to, given what I was going through and how I had no awareness of it or at any time remember anything doing or saying at that time. I apologize anyway. My sister-in-law decided to get very grouchy to me about it. She was telling me about her PTSD and brother's bipolar and everything they have going through. I hung up the phone after she was getting into her feelings, like belittling me and deciding I needed to go read her tone, end quote, read her tone and be empathetic to her. She sounded harsh. I have no words for that other than that, I just was treated very unfairly given what I went through and what happened in my seizure. And neither my brother or sister-in-law seemed to care. It impacts my state of consciousness, emotions, feelings, and everything. I'm not talking to them now, and I don't have real desire to. Am I at fault for feeling like I shouldn't be compelled to apologize for something I said I have no memory of saying while recovering from a loss of consciousness episode?
No, they sound like a problem to begin with. They sound like
You're
they sound like the worst. You that probably did you justice, if anything.
your brother and sister-in-law. Sorry, this is to the
They
OP,
sound awful.
not to you. But the brother and the sister-in-law suck so
Yeah,
hard.
yeah,
Holy
I
shit.
get that.
They can recognize that it came from a place of having a seizure and still not
Don't
forgive
think it
you.
about them.
They're still going, oh, well, you hurt my feelings. Fuck you. Fuck your feelings. Sorry.
Right? No,
Sorry.
seriously,
Well,
I'm
and
gonna
then my
bounce right off of that when I'm sorry, Lufa, but
okay.
when people say you need to read the room and check my tone, check my mood before you say something like that to me. And I had that done to me so many times that I'm like, you need to remember that I have epilepsy and you need to understand the type of epilepsy I have before I remember anything about you from now on. Don't ask me to do something that you already are not doing for me. And I know how that sounds, but there are different ways to say it, but that's my way. It's like, wait a minute, you're wanting me to make you feel better and notice you and remember these things about you when I just had a medical emergency?
She wants to make the moment about her because she sounds like a narcissist.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm careful with that word because I have them in my family, real diagnosed
The main
NPD.
character syndrome
Oh
Wait,
my
I
gosh.
has been
feel like
real.
if you don't have a narcissist in your family,
You
you
don't have a family.
you don't have a family. Yeah, like my dad is he is an Olympic level narcissist.
Olympic level, huh?
But it was the
Like my
best.
ex.
It was the best phrase I could use to describe it. Where I was like,
Love it.
this really describes it perfectly. Olympic level.
One time someone's like, oh, well, have I ever been around a narcissist before? I'm like, haven't we all? Like,
Yeah,
haven't
yeah.
we all grown up around a like, wasn't that just wasn't that part of the plan? Isn't that how we
Right.
learn?
And they're usually the bullies, right?
Yeah, they pop up
And
anywhere. Everyone
yeah,
has probably met more than 1 to 5 narcissists. You probably met more than 5. Maybe just at the 5 you live in a small town. But maybe more if you do live in a small town, because that could also mean
I have that many in my family. Okay,
yeah.
no
I'm
small
saying.
town.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
today, today I actually texted my father to be like, "Hey, I applied for a new job. I sent my resume and my cover letter and
good
everything,
job.
and it's to be a student service coordinator at a mortuary college.
I hope that goes well.
60 to $70,000 a year, and it's completely remote. I hope it goes well as well.
Hey,
Um,
go Brandon.
but I texted my biological father to be like, "Hey, I applied for a new thing." You know what he sent me back?
Fucking
Oh,
loser.
that's awesome. Guess who I did jujitsu with the other day? My good friend Forrest Griffin, who I know who he is, and if any of you who know MMA, or if any of you know MMA, he was a very like notable fighter, like 15 years ago. And he's like, "Oh, I was just rolling jujitsu with my good friend Forrest Griffin, the MMA fighter." I'm like, "Yeah, that's not what I was." Okay.
Okay. All right.
Olympic level narcissists.
You're like, okay, yeah. So,
About them Lakers.
When you've been through enough of that shit, you start to stop mincing words with them, and then you realize that nothing that you can say or do will ever be anything but trash compared to them.
Mhm.
there's
They
always
will
that.
always one up you. We've had some people try and join we've had some people be on our chats or our streams that have been that way, where they just want to one up people all the time. Right, Jack? Yeah, my buddy Jack over here agrees.
I think that anytime someone tries to compare and one up, or especially when it comes to an illness, it's just kind of like, what are you doing?
It's
Like,
more showing of their own personality.
yeah, it's like
That
It
point
usually makes
where
me wonder too if they have it as bad as they claim.
yeah, or if they're just looking for the sort of sympathy, attention
yeah,
aspect.
there could be
Yeah,
several,
with invisible or with
well
invisible
as like,
disabilities.
do they have the
Well,
proper
yeah, there's that
support
too,
in
Mark.
their
Yeah,
life?
the visible aspect.
They may also be. Some people do also push it because they don't have that kind of support in real life, so they tend to not realize that um, when they've taken it too far and made it too much about themselves, because they're looking so much for that comfort, and they might find a place where they're like, yeah, this is it, but then they end up going too far, and then it kind of shows like, all right, you still have some work to do on yourself. And
I think that's really what it shows, is like they're looking for the validation, but what they really need, the people who this happens to, and it's not just in our chat, in our you know um streams and stuff. It happens with everybody. When people are
Any
looking for
community,
validation
for sure.
for like their problems, so hard. It's like, okay, you
I'm
need to
milking it.
see a therapist because they are the only person who's actually going to help you be able to work through this internalized issue that you have, which is not just about what you're going through. It's clearly something else as well.
Does anybody's tip of their nose get really itchy sometimes?
Yeah, all
Mine
the time.
does, right here. I actually
Yeah.
have like a couple scabs on there right now.
Yeah, mine kind of has a scab from itching it so much.
Yeah,
It gets like the tip of my nose gets super itchy. Brandon, yours does too?
Tip of your
yeah, it's
nose
like
is like it's
I've been
prime,
there.
like the sun is gonna hit that so much, so the tip of your nose is gonna get dry as shit.
That's you know what, that's probably what the little thing is. It's probably like a little blister on my nose since I'm so
Yep.
see-through.
Also,
Throw
too,
some aloe on there.
for women, you can get if
I figured it out.
if anybody doesn't know, for women, if you have endometriosis, you can get endometriosis of the skin, and it can be very itchy. And I have it on my cheek and my nose.
Yeah, sometimes I get, although I think part of that might just be the cat fur. So, I don't know. But the tip of my nose gets like super itchy and I can never get it fully itched. I just keep so it looks like I kind of like a Coca-Cola addict, but I swear it's just the tip of my nose is really itchy for no
Just be
reason.
careful if you try to lotion it, because regular lotion for the face never worked well
Well,
for me. I always had to get actual face lotion.
don't get me started on my face routine.
Dude, there's actually, if you can buy, there's stuff on Amazon. It's called, this is gonna sound hilarious, but it's called nipple butter.
Nipple butter
It's for a reason, because it's for pregnant mothers usually,
is
but
made from breast milk.
if you use it on your skin, on your face, oh my God, it heals everything so fast. It
I'm
is
gonna
amazing.
write down that. What is it called? Nipple milk?
It's called nipple butter.
Nipple butter.
Yeah.
Same thing. Nipple butter.
Who hasn't searched for nipple butter before? I mean, right?
Right? That's like the
Pull
most
up search history.
search
You
history.
you gotta do it.
Yeah, while you're there, look for
It's
lid lube.
totally
I
normal.
mean, lid lube. That's a
Yeah.
stoner's dream. Yeah,
Tony,
it sounds crazy,
you're
but yeah.
naughty today. You're a naughty.
I use saline on a Q-tip. I have a scar inside my nose that my dermatologist is going to, he can't completely remove it, but he's going to take some of it off. But he's got to knock me out. And I can only do so many of those. But I'm going to try that nipple butter, man. I know what it did for the other parts that I needed it for. Yeah,
I saw,
lanolin, shea butter, and magic.
I
But
saw that
yeah,
Yeah,
woman.
it's so good. It's exactly like breast milk almost.
Oh,
It's so healing.
Wait, Annie, did you say you were using saline?
yeah, just salt water and a Q-tip.
Oh, okay, yeah. The last time I had saline in my body was because I got maced.
Oh shoot. Oh shoot.
this
Ouch.
woman was using like 91% alcohol on her to clean her face, like
Ah,
every day to clean her face. And she's like, "Look how clear my skin is, guys." And all the comments were like, "Probably because it's scarred." Like, your
yeah.
skin is
Wait,
probably scarred and burnt because she doesn't wear sunscreen and she uses alcohol to clean her face and she's got tattooed on makeup. And so I'm gonna stick with the comments too that don't follow her routine, and her skin is definitely scarred because there's no way that, or like she's got skin of steel because
Dude, just using hand sanitizer dries my skin out. Like,
holy
what
shit.
the hell?
Well, and then she's like, I just use whatever dollar store lotion I can find. Sometimes I use. She's like, sometimes to wash her face, either uses hand soap, or if she runs out of hand soap, which, like, how are you running out of hand soap? She uses shampoo. Like, babe, come on, come on, come on.
Hand soap
I
and
mean,
shampoo are not the same.
I can't talk crap on that because I do just wash my face in the shower, but
I mean, I've washed my face in the shower, but I've never washed my face with shampoo being the base, like my base. Like I'm going into it with the intent of washing my face with. There's been times where I've had to wash my face with products that I've not wanted to, but I'm bougie when it comes to my skincare routine. That's just how I am.
Gotta be.
But the face soap mixed with the alcohol.
Mm-mm,
Uh,
mm-mm.
she's like, my skin's
She's
so
gonna
clear.
have
Like, your skin is soft.
creepy, wrinkly skin is what she's gonna have before
Oh
she
my
hits
God, it's
40.
like a burn victim.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's.
And when she
I
goes,
mean, witch
like,
hazel is.
ages,
Oh God,
it'd be freaky.
no. I mean, I'm still faithful to the Dove bar, and my dermatologist is fine with that. But it's the other stuff I put on my face after I wash it that's making the difference. And you can buy stuff on Amazon that does this stuff. So why use, I mean, I clean my pipe with 91%. Okay. I would never put that on my face. Have you ever gotten that on a cut or a brush burn?
I
Stick
try,
the
I try
serum.
to, I soak my bongs in
Yeah. 91 and kosher salt. That's how
yeah,
I clean my stuff. Or
yeah.
if I want to go real cheap, I go to the dollar store and I buy awesome. Okay. Just don't dump that stuff down the drain unless you want to pay a plumber every couple of years to take that trap out and get the resin out of your trap. I learned that.
Like, here's a gift for you, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Go take it
And
when you get home.
I'm sitting there and the plumber's taking my bathroom sink apart because that's where I cleaned my stuff. And he shows me the trap and he starts dumping it. And I'm like, what the heck? And he's like, come on, I can smell the weed. Just don't dump it down the drain. If you're cleaning your stuff, dump it in the trap
Yeah.
because it that resin stays in the drain
Mm-hmm.
and
Fix
creates its
all the
yeah.
stuff.
Oh yeah. And I'm like, man, too bad it's not reclaim. I can't smoke it again, can I?
No, right? That's
You
every
know? Right. It's like, oh, let me add some
wait,
ISO to that. See.
use that at all. It's trying to
Ah.
reduce,
But
reuse.
no, I would not put that on my face. No.
No, there's probably chemicals in that now.
God.
But that I would never put that on my face. It's literally burning. That's awful for your skin. That's
Yeah. No.
again.
I would not.
I
No.
feel bad for her skin. I'm glad I'm not her skin. I would hate to be her nose.
All right, I got something. It says 30. I'm a 32-year-old and I was admitted to a hospital when I was 22 due to status epilepticus on an absence. I started feeling weird one day at work, went to the ER and they told me it was just vertigo. Went again the next day and they told me it was vertigo again and gave me vertigo meds. On the third day, I went for a nap and when I woke up, I couldn't talk normally, just very slow. My mom rushed me to another ER thinking I was having a stroke. And when we arrived, my pupils were not moving, so they admitted me to the EEG. Admitted me, and the EEG revealed that I was having epileptic activity. Woke up a couple days later. I was diagnosed with epilepsy, despite of not having previous known episodes. Due to severity, I took Xebanix and Briviac for 5 years or so. So after trying trying around with 6 meds due to bad side effects. To be honest, I don't even remember or know if any of them worked or not. Since then, I have little moments of absence, but nothing else. I don't even realize I have them until somebody clicks their fingers. My EEG that I have every 6 months is usually normal and says interictal epileptiform paroxysmal. Somebody please know this word. Paroxysmal.
You got it.
Paroxysm.
Paroxysmal.
Yeah.
Somebody look it up, please, because no one knows that word.
Something that occurs suddenly and
Interictal
intensely.
epileptiform paroxysmal activity in bilateral temporal regions, predominantly left-sided, with mild diffusion to frontal areas. That's one type of epilepsy. And sometimes says that there is no epileptiform activity. It depends a bit on where they go to take it. The neurologist told me this means that there are little currents that should be there but are not bad per se. When I asked if I should go take my meds, even if it doesn't affect me consciously, she told me probably, but it's your choice. And I chose not to because I fear the side effects, especially when I don't really have side effects apart from falling out of things falling out of my hands random moments. I think that just might be me clumsy or having little absences. What would you do? Is it bad? Is it bad for the brain to live without meds, without these test results? If not, taking meds is bad for my brain long term, I will take them, but I don't want to if it's needed, as sometimes the EEG says I'm okay.
I mean, there's the whole argument that you could say here that if you're seizing, then your brain is going to learn new ways to seize. I think I'm saying it right. I don't know if I am, but we've talked about it before that if you're not being treated, then you're probably only going to get worse.
Progressive.
The brain is just, it's degenerative, you know, like the more seizures that we have, the worse our brain is going to get. That's not something that we can deny.
And then also too, if you are only having like one specific type, I think this person said that they were having absences, then, you know, who's to say that you're not gonna have one day where you start having a new type? And you never know.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, like the exact same situation. Someone was like, "Oh, I only have focals. I should be fine." But we were like, "No, that could lead to eventually being TCs."
Well, yeah, because one part of the brain, then both sides. I mean, that's what happened to me, and I didn't even realize it. I had no idea that I was having focals, and then, you know, surgery happened, and now I have TCs. So you never know.
Exactly.
One of the comments here says, I've only had focal seizures, but I strongly recommend to be on medication. These absences are still localized seizures. These can spread to TC seizures. I was very, very reluctant starting medication, but I found I'm actually a lot better on meds. The doctor also said it's up to her. So do you think, like, if he says that, that means you could possibly go without? Or does that
I
just
mean,
mean
that
he
just sounds
thinks
like a
that's the
bad doctor, I feel like. They
So the
found,
doctor said that it's up to them,
Yeah.
the doctor said that it's up to them, the doctor.
It said, when I asked, should I take my meds, even if it doesn't affect me consciously, she told me, probably, but it's your choice.
I mean, that just sounds like she's saying you should take your meds, but you can legally decide not to if you wanted to. But like that doesn't mean that you are being actually given the choice not to. You're just deciding to live with it rather than have the possibility of getting better on medication.
That sounds like a weird response from the doctor.
Well,
Like
it's
Sia was saying, like it sounds like you need a new doctor.
it's important to remember that's what she remembers the doctor saying. That's not necessarily what the doctor said. So I don't know. If the
We could
doctor
start weaning
did
you
not
off if you
drill it
want.
into her head enough that, you know,
Another comment says, so the
I don't-
brain gets good at having the seizures and they can develop into a tonic-clonic if you just let it go. Plus, you never know when it'll happen. It's like having a bomb in your head. I would just take the meds and keep getting EEGs. If I stopped having abnormal EEGs, then I would wean off the seizure meds.
who's to say that the seizure meds aren't stopping? You can wean off, but if seizures start up again, then was it worth it? I don't know.
If you find the right dosages and the right medications, I think that it's more worthwhile to, I mean, we all hate being on medications. All of us do. We all have bad side effects, but it's better to be, in my opinion, on a medication that you may not fully like than to be seizing all the time. If you can find that right combination, then you should stay on it.
I won't discount also the weaning off, like, or not weaning off. I should say weaning down. Like if you need, 1,000 milligrams twice a day of your pills, but you can wean down to 500 milligrams and feel better, like head wise, um, and not have the side effects be as harsh. It's like you're still safe from having a seizure, but also you're not feeling the side effects of meds as much. Yeah, it's like work with the meds as much as you can and do the best you can to cut down, but you need the meds.
I actually met someone, well, I didn't meet someone, but my husband met someone who has epilepsy, lives nearby us. And he's had it for 40 plus years. And I shared his book on here. He reached an age where his kids were grown up, his his wife passed away, and he no longer wanted to deal with the bullshit of taking the medications. So he got off. And in his situation, he was having TCs, but the medications having been on them for so long, they did actually stop. And once he got off the medications, he was only having absence and focal seizures. So he told my husband that at the age that I'm at, I'd rather sit here in my chair, have a seizure, and then smoke a bowl afterwards than be on the medication still. Like in that kind of situation, I feel like it makes sense, you know? You don't have anything that you have to keep up with. You are older in your years, you may not want to keep going with all of the side effects. But if you're young and you still have things that like, responsibilities, I mean, in that kind of situation, I think it's better to let your brain rest with the medications if they are helping than to get off and decide not to take them. So you have so many years where something could go wrong.
That's actually a really interesting point. That I don't know how many of us like would be able to I don't know, see the effects of, because it would mean just basically hopping off your meds, and like I wonder, because I know when we are on the meds, not taking our meds can cause a seizure, but it's due to not taking your meds. It's not because that like a seizure was going to happen anyway. It's because you didn't take your meds. So obviously, like weaning off and stuff is hard, but I wonder like how many of us would be better or worse off if we went like no meds. You know what I mean? I'm just curious. It's not something we should experiment with at all. Just a curious thought.
I think we should
I wouldn't
experiment
have
with
tried
you
it
first.
myself.
No, I'm not gonna.
I was gonna say get an RNS first.
Well, actually, I've already kind of been in that I've only been taking my 750 in the morning, and I don't feel great at night. So, like right now, don't feel amazing. But when I go to sleep in like an hour, I'm gonna wake up at like 5:40. I'll take my pill and I'll feel good for the rest of the day.
I got you for the wake up call today. 5:40.
Oh,
See, Pookie, you gotta stop joking about that because I swear to God, if you call me at 5:40, some punches are gonna start getting thrown. They're not gonna hit you because you're on the other side of the country, but do not call me that early.
5:42. Gotcha.
I started my seizure log in 2022 and I started medications in 2024. So it is possible to see what I was like, what I was doing on no medication. And I have not logged any of that information into anything that would allow me to
well, and it's like
analyze that further. But
there's what you were like when you
yeah,
first started seizing and on no medication. But now
yeah. How much that period of time? I mean,
yeah,
it's
like
only been 2 years,
well,
one
yeah,
and a half.
that's the other thing. Well, we have people like Kevin, who's 8 years seizure free, and like, is Kevin still on meds?
I believe
Yeah.
he is. Yeah.
And he's a
Yeah, so like
VNS.
He wants to
well, yeah, he
work
is the
on weaning
VNS,
off the last of his meds.
but like, I'd be curious to see, and I'm not going to ask him to do this. What like Kevin would be like if he weaned off his meds but kept the VNS sort of thing, like no meds, just VNS. And I don't know, it would be like a cool marker, I guess, for us because Kate, you have the INS, RNS,
RNS.
RNS, yeah.
RNS, yes. And like I don't actually know what the difference is, but that's just because I'm uninformed.
The VNS is just it emits those pulses on a regular basis, and the RNS is supposed to pick up a fuck up and then zap me.
Oh, okay.
So it's supposed to be responsive.
Oh, okay.
And
So yeah,
when I weaned off the meds, it ended up just RNS helped the the TCs, and I'm staying on a fraction of the Keppra just for the focals. So that's
that
how
makes
far down
sense.
I went. I got rid of the benzo, and then I was just
Oh
having too many focals. So
no,
I went back
that's
on half of
actually
one pill.
that's actually exactly the sort of answer I was looking for. It's like you were able to cut down on the meds. Obviously it was different because you had the VNS, wait, RNS, yeah, RNS. But still, I'm just interested in sort of seeing the connection between the amount of time people have had epilepsy and been on meds and then cutting down.
And the
It's
next part of the
purely a,
experiment is going to be like meds versus BMI kind of ratio. If I can drop like another 50 pounds or so, then maybe I can cut this pill in half.
oh yeah,
Those
that's
are
a good point too. I never thought about that because um the amount of meds that you take is based on weight. Yeah. I
yeah.
never thought about that. There's so much to it.
Wait,
Wow.
it is?
Well, yeah, I mean,
It affects the half-life on some of them.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
on
it with most medications and stuff, it's like, if you're rail thin, you're not going to need as much as someone who has like a healthy, BMI sort of situation. You're,
Tell that to my doctor about Keppra.
I'm, I'm on 750 2 times a day. What do you want?
Uh, I I was up until 2 weeks ago. I was on 3,000 a day. I'm 5'8" and about 120 pounds.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm 5'9" and 130.
So
So
yeah, we're
very,
roughly the same. So thankfully they just stepped me down to 2,000 on the Keppra, but that's because I switched from Vimpat over to the clobazam here. So that's what I was mentioning the other day. I was on multiple different medications at once as I was weaning off one and going on the other and changing a different dosage of another, and um that was kind of my zombie couple of weeks, and that was when I basically laid in bed and did nothing, and then found you guys, found this group.
yeah, 3,000 seems a little wild, I guess. But
Yeah, and
yeah,
I
I
was
mean,
begging him to take them off, because as soon as I started stepping that up a couple years ago, I definitely noticed my me was changing, myself.
yeah.
So I wanted to get back down. So thankfully I've done that. I don't know if the clobazam's doing anything to help, at least with the personality stuff. I still feel like I'm a weirdo. And plus I've had 2 seizures just in the about 2-3 weeks since I started taking the clobazam. So I don't know if it's really helping much, but like we all said, we're all trying pretty much anything at this point, right? After we've had them for so long. So
Yeah, and I will say this: we're all weirdos. I I hate this also because I forgot what I was totally gonna like just about to say. So I guess I'll send it to Pookie for the next. So we can, yeah, that's usually the easiest way to do it. Is if we forget what we're doing, we just send it to Pookie for the next question. Sorry, again, Pookie. For me, I am directly to your right, and you are top left. So for me, I'm pointing directly at you.
Okay, for
Thank
you,
you,
you're
Vanna
in
White.
top middle. So anyhow, got one that says middle-aged guy who has been told he has epilepsy. Can I question? Can I ask a question? I started having seizures in 2021, but wasn't about until 6 months ago that I discovered it was seizures when I was taking a nap during the day at my parents, and it happened in front of them, traumatizing everyone. It had always been in my sleep, and I live alone. It wasn't until this event that we realized all the times that I bit my tongue and my cheeks while I was asleep was likely seizures. I have no family history of epilepsy. It happens so infrequently, though that no one has found the cause. I've taken multiple CAT scans, EEGs, MRI, and did sleep studies. So far, it's been shrugs all around. Still waiting on the sleep study results. I'm in an I'm on an update dose of Keppra, and for the past 5 weeks has been nothing. Up to 3,000 milligrams per day from 2,000 milligrams. Last night I bit my cheek again. I did have a much larger dinner than I'm wondering. Could high blood pressure be the cause? I've also had a diet and lost 20 pounds in the last night. I ate more than normal. I'm also grasping at straws because I spent a lot of money on tests and know as much as I did 6 months ago. The question I seen was, could it be high blood pressure that's doing this? I don't know. Never heard of high blood pressure causing
I mean,
anybody of
I've
anything.
never heard of high blood pressure causing seizures, but I mean, taking care of your body is a good step towards, finding finding something that might work for you. Because it could be maybe a trigger, but I wouldn't say that it has anything to do with your actual brain activity. Um, yeah, I'm not sure.
The top comment says most people have idiopathic epilepsy, which means there's no clear cause of it. So don't get your hopes up when it comes to finding one. Basically, anything can trigger a seizure, so it isn't totally crazy to think a big carb meal could be a trigger. Keep an eye on it and see if the pattern emerges. Also, sounds like Keppra isn't working for you, so probably best to discuss other options with your prescribing doctor.
Kepra's not for everyone, that's for sure.
Uh,
It's still not helping me.
And
Hopefully one
luckily,
day.
luckily there are a ton of other, you anti-seizure medications that can be, I don't want to say experimented with, but tested to see how they react with this person specifically.
Another comment says, jumping in just to empathize. I'm a woman in my 50s diagnosed last year and also know just as much as I did 6 months ago. I am surprised it's this hard to find information, but I'm beginning to appreciate it's different for everyone.
It definitely is different for everyone. That is
I
for sure.
think I think one thing is for sure too is that carbs, um, from what I've noticed at least, talking with other people that have tried out the diet that I'm on, is that carbs do mess with the system a lot, and that can have an effect on the amount of seizures that you're having. Um, so lowering those, Brandon, lowering those can make difference. Although just like, it's different for everybody. It can have a mild difference. For some people, it can have a major difference. So
Yeah, sorry, I was waving red in the camera.
I wish I could
I was
still
wondering
eat that.
why. Got someone here. It says it could not be necessarily high blood pressure, but it could be a specific thing you ate too much as well. Epilepsy has many triggers, and for everyone it is different. Also, sometimes we can never find the cause, and well, that is okay.
Wait, was there a question, or was it just sort of a? Oh, was that a comment?
Person was asking, could it be high blood pressure because of
Oh,
what he just ate?
yeah, no, I'm with you. I've never heard of high blood pressure like causing that, but also, as we know, there are many different like causes and reasons for seizures, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was something that could cause a seizure. I just have never heard of it. That's all.
You guys are
This
gonna love
thing
this
that,
one. Okay, go ahead.
oh, sorry, go ahead, Kate.
It's a totally different post. Go ahead.
Oh, there's something called transient ischemic attacks, and that can happen with people who have high blood pressure, and it can look very similar to a seizure, especially like an absence focal aware. So it's hard to say. I mean, but if they were diagnosed with epilepsy, you have epilepsy. And like the other replies, it's like we don't always find out, what the cause is. We just have to deal with the fact that we have it. But a TIA it's actually a mini stroke. So, it robs the brain of enough oxygen for things to kind of shut down. And it's very common with high blood pressure. So it could be that. But yeah, they need a diagnosis or at least accept the one that they've got.
Yeah, I feel like there's really no way to uh, not like we're not self-diagnosing, but they can't self-diagnose. Like they need a real
Right.
diagnosis in this situation because this seems like it could come from several different medical conditions. Like they do have epilepsy, but also they have other issues that could have potentially just led to a seizure in that specific instance, but wasn't related to their epilepsy. We don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. But it can be a lot of different things. And unless you get an actual clinical diagnosis, it's really hard to support a diagnosis of epilepsy. So, because there are other things that can do that. There's vasovagal um, events that can cause something that looks like a seizure. And of course, our favorite thing, there's always psychogenic non epileptic seizures. They are real, but don't tell me that's all I'm having. I have psychogenic epilepsy.
Well,
That
Angel made the
was
point too that high blood pressure can lead to strokes, and then strokes can lead to epilepsy.
lead to the epilepsy. Exactly. Yeah,
And
Yeah,
this is
that
a
was
but
good
we're not the
point
doctors.
that
to
was why I
make.
was saying about the like. There's other health factors here because if this person had a stroke, it's like okay, their brain is already traumatized. Like one of the
Yeah,
highest. Their brain has gone through one of the worst things.
And that's why it's important to not just have a seizure log, but a symptom log of everything that was done beforehand that you can remember before a seizure happened, especially if you're undiagnosed, because that can help you lead your way towards a diagnosis,
And
whatever it may
convince a
be.
doctor that nobody but a patient would have felt that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this one is titled Epilepsy and Higher Power. A friend of mine has epilepsy, and recently we were discussing human existence and the concept of a higher power. She was describing her experience with seizures and suggested a theory that there's a sort of glitch in the matrix going on in the moments immediately before a seizure. She told me that she feels like she's discovered the secrets of the universe, something we as humans can't really process. Then she's out. When she comes around, it's like her brain has been reset. Of course, neither of us are science deniers, and we understand the neurological explanation for all of this. But she wonders if maybe her epilepsy is a gift. As horrible as it is, she feels like she gains a greater enlightenment. Does anyone have a similar experience?
I definitely don't feel enlightened afterwards. I don't know about you guys.
I
I was
I
gonna say that I
Me.
don't feel enlightened.
I feel like I just ran through a wall head first. How is this enlightened?
A sense of spirituality is not entirely uncommon in temporal lobe epilepsy. I don't know if any of you are familiar with the sci-fi writer Philip K. Dick, but he had a spiritual experience in his life where there was this missionary, like door to door missionary. I think she was um I don't know, I forget, but she was going and he saw this pink beam of light reflect off of her gold cross and felt a sense of a higher power, and it has been hypothesized or proposed that his experience there may have been due to undiagnosed temporal lobe epilepsy as one of the scientific medical explanations for his experience there. So, but he felt that his experience was life-changing enough that he quit doing drugs. He was a um, uh, speed addict. It's not a meth head, but amphetamine. So they're cousins. They're kind of the same thing, just you know. But um, among other, many other substances of abuse. So it was a spiritual religious experiment or experience that was significant enough to change him for the rest of his life. And um, yeah, these medical professionals, some of them at least, have posited that epilepsy could explain, such a significant experience. So I wouldn't be so quick to dismiss it necessarily. Uh, I don't know. I wouldn't be so quick to dismiss it necessarily on either side of, the
Brandon, you got a
coin.
book by that Phil Dick Mark talking about?
No, this is Kurt Vonnegut, but it's Slaughterhouse
Oh,
Five, and
yes, yes,
it's
that's
it's
incredible.
it's totally like one where you read it and you're like, this main character is, I don't want to say epileptic, but like they're experiencing some weird shit. And yeah, I feel
So
like some
it goes,
epileptic could relate. I don't, but I feel like some could.
yeah.
But yeah,
Well, one of the comments to the yeah, go ahead.
Mark, you know Slaughterhouse Five? Great fucking book, right?
Yes, I just read it just just a couple months ago. It's incredible.
It's one of my
Yeah,
favorite books. Yeah, it actually is my favorite book right now.
really, very cool.
I got something, guys. It says, is it still considered refractory epilepsy if you didn't max out your dosage? I need to ask my doctor this on Friday because I wanted to hear everyone's experiences. Lamictal did not work for me. I'm on 25 milligrams twice a day of Briviact, and it's not working either. I know I could still increase the Briviact, but I'm not sure if I'm supposed to already be feeling better. It's hard to tell sometimes if I made any improvement from the start because I feel good but in bad waves, but bad in waves. I still have small focals about every day and sometimes more. Did anyone end up increasing their dose on their med? And it went from not working to not working at all.
Yeah, you don't have to max it out. Sometimes if you're taking a medication that the side effects end up being worse than anything else, then they'll shake you off before they max out the dose, and after you've gone through 2 or 3 of those, that's refractory. Some people are just really sensitive to these medications.
So that's like drug resistant. Just eventually you just can't take it anymore, is what this person is saying.
Yep. And then they start talking surgery or some other treatments. Hopefully.
I like to say goodbye to everybody in person or over voice instead of over chat because I love all you folks. So I want you to all hear me say good night. I hope you all have a wonderful night. Sid,
I'm still
adios.
expecting more people.
Huh?
So I'm still expecting some newbies. I'm getting
I
messages
don't
about
know.
new people coming.
Are there going to be people coming? Jesus Christ, they're late. Wow.
Yeah, but
Westies. Yeah, West Coast.
yeah,
Oh,
I'll
those
see. I'll let you know
Westies.
how that goes.
Yeah, give me some updates if there's anything interesting. Mark, Kate, Annie, Sia, Lufa, Toaster, Angel, all have a great rest of your night.
You
You too.
too. See you Friday, Brandon. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna bail. I just remembered I have 2 appointments tomorrow, and one is with my favorite primary care provider who's trying to block my surgery next week. And she can't, so she's mad. So I have to go in and see her. But anyway, yeah, I've got 2 appointments. I'm tired. My allergies are driving me nuts. So I gotta go to sleep. I miss you guys. I'm glad I decided to come in and join you all again. And I don't know if I can't sleep, I might pop in here again and see what's going
Well,
on with the
glad to see
movies.
you. Now think about that argument, how that's gonna go. Any rebuttal she has for you, you're gonna be prepared.
Yeah, we're prepared
Got this.
because we don't need her to release me for outpatient surgery.
Okay.
And she is successfully making a fool of herself, and I'm letting her. So tomorrow's going
Feel
to be a
free.
fun. Yeah, it's like, hey, that's on you. But yeah, so yeah, I've got 2 appointments, and who knows? I only slept 4 hours last night, so maybe this will be better. But all right, guys. Well, I will see you. I might pop in on our private Zoom. Haven't been there yet. But I'll definitely, most definitely, maybe most definitely see you Friday. I don't think I have anything going on. All right. Love you guys. Take care of yourselves.
Later. All right,
Yeah,
Pookie,
we'll
you got the
see.
next one?
Yep.
All right, my husband's epilepsy diagnosis has changed who he is, and he's not the person I married anymore. My husband and I have been together for a total of 10 years. Last year, he got in a car accident due to having a seizure. He didn't get hurt. He was combative and confused. They didn't know what was wrong, so they drugged him, put him on a ventilator, and ran many, many tests. It was scary, as they told me it could be a brain bleed. They diagnosed him with having a provoked seizure. After that, however, the seizures continued and took a year to get any sort of control. He's not the person I married. I'm struggling with it. Used to be fun, goofy. We had an amazing sex life. All of that about him is gone. I feel so unwanted now, and that we're just passing bodies, barely functioning to take care of our kids, trying to understand as much as I can and can't take it personally, and not take it personally. He told me he doesn't know that person anymore, can't be that for me. I love him to the deepest part of my soul, not going anywhere, but how do I deal with this new person? And then just asking, has any other spouse with epilepsy gone through something similar? And I would agree with that first comment, talking about counseling. She's saying she still loves him.
She's still being there, still being a wife. That's love.
Yeah. And this one is, it's not for, okay, let me post it to you.
And now I got one. You guys there? Anybody there? I read it out. It says, I've been taking CBD pills for the last 9 years, and it's helped me a lot with managing my epilepsy. I've also been smoking THC for the last 2 years with no issues. But not too long ago, I had a seizure because I missed my meds and didn't get enough sleep. I smoked that day. So I'm just wondering if THC had anything to do with it, or if it was just missing my medication and not sleeping enough. I'd like to smoke again, but I'm scared. I know that CBD is beneficial for my epilepsy, but is THC okay for epileptics too?
Okay, for some, it's seizure provoking. For others, it's been found to actually cause problems for some people. So it's entirely case dependent, like so many things with epilepsy. Um, there was another sentence in that thought.
Yeah.
I lost it. It got away from me.
One of the comments says, I stopped consuming THC after I had it 2 years. My neurologist at the time wasn't using the word epilepsy, but stating I had two seizures that we didn't understand where they came from. I had sepsis at the end. I had sepsis at the time, and I have hydrocephalus. So I feel like I knew where they were coming from. So I thought smoking and partaking in gummies would be fine once once I was cured and stabilized. I don't know how, if I greened out or seized. I genuinely cannot tell the difference because it felt so similar to my first grand mal seizure, leaning towards greened out. But it spooked me so bad anyway. I put it down and never picked it up again. Greened out, is that like
I mean,
going to sleep because you smoke too much?
that's like someone who can't handle their bud. Um,
How do you OD on
um,
weed?
if they had a grand mal or tonic clonic, their muscles will let them know about it. A greening out doesn't cause the same sort of physical soreness like working out. At least from my experience, but all of the tonic clonics that I've had have been longer, like 10 minutes or more. So I don't know, maybe if they're shorter, if they're, if there's intervention and they don't last that long. If the muscle soreness might not be as much of an issue, and you still get the neurological, the significant neurological impact of the seizure. Uh, do do you have any insight on that from
Um,
the
I read it all.
um,
But
I forgot the question already. Man, I should just leave. I feel like I'm useless. I'm just, um,
um,
but I don't know. It's great
Never
talking to
just
you.
useless.
asking, they're just
Your
asking if
insight is
THC.
always valuable.
That was the main
To,
question. Is THC okay for epileptics?
oh, oh, oh yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Um, yeah, case dependent. Um, I'm not seizing right now.
I said the same
I'm
thing.
not greened
So I'm gonna
out
read a couple
though.
of these comments before you come back. I'll read a couple of these comments. One says THC has no impact on my epilepsy. It does not cause nor prevent me from having seizures. Another one say I only just got diagnosed and didn't even realize I was having seizures. But looking back to my stoner days, the times I smoked the times I smoked were the times I had most seizure activity episodes, one actually convulsing as well. Um, yeah, I don't remember any seizures being caused by epilepsy. I mean, seizures being caused by smoking or edibles or any of that.
I have had
Probably
one
tell them.
because I had way too much one night. My pen was stuck and because it was the ones with the liquid. I don't remember what it's called, but it
Yeah.
was stuck because I hadn't used it in a little while, and so I kept trying to puff it so that it would get unstuck. And it was a little different than that one, Mark. It was the little it was like a little rectangle basically, and it didn't have like a good processor in it, so it got stuck very often. and I took in too much thinking that it wasn't working. And then I got so bad that I ended up having like 2 or 3 TCs that night, and I had no idea what was going on when I woke up.
I wonder how clean some of those like distillate cartridges are in those uh, damn it, I already said goodnight, didn't I? Yeah. Um
But you couldn't fight the compliment on us praising your opinions.
do what?
We got you to stick around because we were talking about how valuable everything you say is.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, my ego is tied up in my intelligence, so that's all you got to do to get me to do something for you.
Well, we still love
But
it. We love it.
all right, good night.
Good night,
Good
Mark.
night.
See you Friday.
Um, this one says, is anyone else sensitive to light? Well, not having photosensitive epilepsy. My epilepsy is photosensitive, not triggered by particular frequencies or light or flashing light effects, but I am photosensitive and have lots of strobe lighting, very bright lighting, flicker lights, and etc. It's very uncomfortable and usually causes a migraine for me, which can then lower my seizure tolerance. I also find anything bright light, especially sunlight, quite painfully, and pretty much always have to wear sunglasses outside. Although I know this can be linked to meds. Anyway, I was just interested to hear if anyone else has any kind of intolerance to flashing lights or sensitivity without actually having photosensitive as a trigger. Lights don't bother me.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, lights don't bother me. I'm gonna post a video soon to show you how much lights I was in at that concert. And yeah, went to
I
see the
remember not being able to watch the videos that you posted because of how many lights there were.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
there's
So,
there's some videos that are just like there's some that are flash that I'm fine with. Like I watch a lot of true crime and they have a lot of times where they'll have like the police car lights flashing and I hate that shit. I'm always like, can we leave? I already know that they're getting arrested. Let's leave the flashing lights out. But it just kind of more bothers my eyes and my head and my migraines, my big ass cranium. But
Oh yeah, I'm like they haven't labeled me as photosensitive, but the brain waves when they were at the higher levels on the photosensitive test slowed down drastically. So they told me that it could be like kind of a I'm not sensitive to lights that are slow. Um, and if it's flashing really fast, like if there's like a whole row of trees and the sunlight's flickering like crazy, or like with that test, when they get to the higher levels of the photosensitive test where it's like almost constant, that's when it affects me pretty badly and I'll end up going into a seizure.
very interesting.
when they did the flashlight test on me or whatever, it didn't bother me, and I think because it wasn't different colors. Um, if it's just like a strobe light, I don't really mind it. But when it comes to like a bunch of different rotating colors, um, it starts to kind of bother me. And then that's when I start to feel kind of wonky. But I don't think I have photosensitive things. But I don't like the. If they would have used like a colorful one, then I would have spazzed out on them and probably hit them. So,
Well, yeah, I think that's the thing is that photosensitive pho words. Photosensitivity is on so many different levels. Some people are affected by different colors, some people are affected by different speeds. I saw one person a long time ago say something about how they were only ever affected by the sunlight behind the trees, not any other type of light. So there's like so many different levels to it that it's kind of hard to like say, because their expectations with photosensitivity is a specific kind of light, but there's so many other different types that I don't think people really know about.
Have you guys ever heard of sounds being a trigger for some people? And you know how many different sound spectrums there are.
Yes, actually, and that is a big one for me as well. And I thought it was because of autism, because I get very easily overstimulated. Um, but it's certain types of sounds that do it. And for me, it's like deep, heavy vibrational things. So I don't know if that is autism or not.
This one is talking about agoraphobic epilepsy. I know we heard this word before, but I still don't really know what it means. The title is a two-word summary of what's been bothering me over the last few years. I've lived with epilepsy all of my life since I was born. Has it bothered me before, like it does now? Before I was okay with going outside because my seizures were so small, I could hide them by pretending to tie my shoes. Now they're much more noticeable. I don't like to be noticed when I go outside or to some places with people. I'm always afraid of having a seizure and attracting attention. I wish to be able to go outside without being so afraid so I can go wherever I want. For example, I want to go to work out at a gym in the future. Until then, I'm stuck inside my house because it's the only place I feel comfortable. Any advice to remain calm? Okay, so this is another one of those like scared of the out or anxious about the outside world. And that's what it sounds like, more of an anxiety issue that's triggering seizures.
I keep hearing that, and as someone who is afraid of the outside world, um, it can definitely. I think it's more of a stress thing. Um, like I think because of how stressed out the person gets leaving the house, or just the thought of leaving the house and then being out. I know for me, when I get outside, immediately my head goes to everyone's looking at me, everyone's looking at me, everyone can see me, everyone's watching me, and they're like, that's just the first thing that my mind, and it's just like on repeat, which is why earlier I said that it's almost can be kind of like OCD because it's these obsessive thoughts that everyone is watching you, and not in a paranoid way, but in a way of like maybe it is paranoid. Yeah, maybe it is paranoid. But just like you're constantly having to be wary of your surroundings, and I think being epileptic then plays another part into that because you're like, holy shit, what if I have a seizure out here? Then I don't know if everyone's looking at me. I don't know who's around me. I don't know who's, because then you're completely at the mercy of others. And that is a horrifying thought. So, unless you're dead. So, and that's literally what the mind inside of mine looks like. Like, unless I'm dead, then that's horrifying. Um, but it can kind of lead into like the obsessive thoughts. Because at some point, anxiety, you can be anxious about things. And have different anxieties, but anxiety and OCD can kind of mesh over into each other in wanting control because OCD you want control. And I think with a lot of people, they want control over their epilepsy, which can lead to obsessive thinking and compulsions, even sometimes. Um, but it can be a little scary. My biggest life hack is old people. I do a lot better around elderly people that have no idea what's going on. And like, because people my age, I just feel so judged. Like, they're so scary. They're horrifying.
Exactly. Old
They're
people don't judge.
they're so scary. Old people are like, they're just fucking old. And you know they've been through life. You know they're feeling shit. You know they're hurting. You know they're probably in either a bad mood or they want to love all up on you. It's one or the other. So, old people, you know, sometimes they're annoying as fuck and they think they know everything. But at the end of the day, you sit back and you're like, motherfucker, if this place were on fire right now, who's getting out first? Me! Loser! Sorry. But, that's just for when they're mean to me. If they were nice to me, obviously I help them get out, you know, throw them in a wheelchair or something. But, you know, old people, best. It's when I like to go to the gym. So when the only old people are there. Because there's no judgment. They're old and they look up to you. They're like, wow, you're an Olympic swimmer. I'm like, hell yeah, I am. Meanwhile, I have epilepsy written all over my body in Sharpie.
What did I miss? Because I came back to Lufa talking about old people and I couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah, it was the old people.
I don't remember. I
They're
don't remember anymore. I think she was saying like definitely less judged around old people than like
Yeah.
younger.
Which sounds weird because you might be like, oh, hell no, they're judging the fuck out of me, which they probably are, but in a different way, in a different time zone.
No,
You
I
know,
totally understand what you mean.
they can't
Yeah,
judge.
especially living in a retirement community here.
Yeah,
I
they can't
do
judge
too.
me. Girl, you don't know what's going on in
Hey,
my
but you
Gen
know.
Z era. You don't know.
My
And when
my
you
neighbor, she's like in her 70s or 80s and she's always so sweet, even though she's like the most gossipy woman in the entire area. She is so sweet when she comes and asks, "Are you doing okay?" after she sees an ambulance in our driveway. Old people are
Exactly.
so much
God
nicer.
bless your heart, and I'm like, yes, God bless my heart.
And then they get all curious asking about dog's vest and, you know, basically what's wrong with you. But they ask it so polite. I told the neighbor that we know what's up. And same deal. She's always like, hey, how you doing? Like actually genuinely concerned about it and comes over sometimes just talking about like the most random things. If I met this one whose son has epilepsy and their grandson didn't. Like, she just always looking for some kind of like bright side punchline to make.
That's
Well,
the
man,
cute
like,
thing too, is they love the silver linings.
yeah, like
Yes.
I think because they've been through life that they just react better to it. I found that I get a lot better reactions out of old people and they understand um my epilepsy a lot more or are able to empathize with it a lot more than people my age.
Well, not to mention you trust somebody who's lived well enough to make it into their 80s.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they're so uplifting. They're just so uplifting. They're like, you look so good out there. I would have never known. You are such a fighter, young girl. You listen to your body. You're such a. I'm like, yes. Oh my god, you are. Love you.
That is the best. Oh my gosh.
And then they're like, I'll be seeing you around. And I'll be keeping you in my thoughts. I'll be praying for you. I'm like, yes, I love you.
Yes, you gotta do acting or theater some one of these days. Please.
My mom
Do
says,
the live action of Toaster Stories.
Please take your medication as prescribed or whatever works for you. We're not doctors.